known things about circles. So what's known about circles here is that when you have these two chords, and there's a perpendicular out from the center, the chords are congruent. So these are congruent, and then these are also congruent. So this is congruent, and then the whole length is congruent. So you're not looking for parallel, you're looking for congruences. Which one of those do you think makes the most sense?
Mm, the last option, DCFA.
So whenever you're ready, if you want to send over
All
the
right, let me put the
one.
next question in the chat. The next question's in the chat.
Okay, here we go. So the thing to remember here is that in a circle, you go all the way around, that's 360 degrees. Okay, so that's kind of first thing. The next thing is there's what's called inscribed angles. So if it comes out from the center, the angle measure here is same as the arc angle measure. Okay. And then like things add up here. So like B to C plus C to D adds up to the whole thing. So in this problem, it says BAD is 148, BAD. So that means this whole thing here is 148 degrees. And they're telling you that B to C is 96 degrees, like that. And so what must C to D be? Well, it's 148 minus the 96.
Got it. Then one. That would be 52. This would be 52 there.
And this is called an inscribed angle. There's other ones. I'm sorry, this is called a central angle. I might have said inscribed, but
All right, here's the next question in the chat.
here we go. Yeah, there's a ton of properties with circles. There's stuff with angles and with um, and lengths. So this one here, this is called I call it like the chord. So I use letter M and big M and X here. And so this angle, it's not a central angle because the A is the center. It's just sort of off center here. So X is little m plus big M divided by 2, like that. So that's enough information for you to be able to find this angle here, F to D to E. That's what they're looking for, is this one right here. That's what I'm calling X. You've got the outside angle, you've got the inside angle, or I'm sorry, the two outside angles. I just use little m and big M to differentiate between them. And I use that notation uh,
So in this case, X would be 74.5. Because when you add 171 plus 70, you get 149. Then that divided by 2 would be 74.5. So it would be
yeah.
the second option there.
And there's some reasonableness with like, does that look like a 74.5 degree angle? I mean, It's hard to know whether that's 74 or 78, but it's certainly not the 35 or the 39 like that.
Yeah, the 35 would be a lot smaller. Okay, let me put the next. All right, here's the next one in the chat.
Circle A, BD is a diameter and the measure of CB is 54. What is the measure of DAC? So here's kind of the guidance on this, which is when you have a diameter, if you create a triangle that touches the other two endpoints, it's a right triangle. And it doesn't matter where it hits, like it could hit really anywhere on that. It could go, more up and then across. It's always a right triangle. So this angle right here is 90 degrees, like that.
Got that. So then that would make the other two angles. Well, actually, so EVC. Wait, but if one side is if one angle is 90 degrees,
Okay, so
then
yeah, so I'm not giving you enough information because there's also what's going on here, which is that if you have an inscribed angle X, okay, I'm giving you the wrong information. This right here is 2x degrees. So that's this 54. This 54 means that this one down here is 27 degrees.
oh, so you should divide it
Okay,
by
but
2.
that's not the answer because they want D to B to C.
Yeah.
B to C is up here, and that's where you need to
Hmm.
know that this is a 90-degree angle so you can find the missing angle there.
Yeah, you can do 180 minus 90 plus 27. And parentheses 90. So that'd be 63 degrees. If you were to take the, because every
Exactly.
triangle would add up to 180, then once you subtract the other two angles,
Exactly.
yeah. Put this one in the chat.
So we're moving through this pretty quickly. Usually there's a lot of like worksheet problems that you do. This is another one of those where there's a formula, but it's like there's a lot of these that are coming into play. So it's like this one is when you have a tangent to a tangent. And this time I'm going to use little m, big M, and x. Okay. So x is equal to big M minus little m divided by 2. Okay, and notice that in this problem, they're trying to find CDE, which is up here. That's x. And so what you need that you don't have is this right around here. Well, how do you get that? Well, if you go all the way around a circle, it's 360 degrees. Well, are you going all the way around? No, you're going 360 minus the 126. So 360 minus 126 gives you the red here. And then you can use that as big M. Your little m is 126 to find x.
Got it. So that would be 234 if you were to do. Yeah, so we're trying to find C, D, E. Think to do it. So that'd be 117. I put the next one. Chat.
If a diameter intersects a chord of a circle at a perpendicular, what conclusion can be made? So we have to actually draw this, and I think that's what's hard here. So actually, that's a terrible circle. So let me do a better job of drawing a circle. Sometimes I forget I've got these nice shapes here. There's a nice circle. So now if we draw a chord here, here's a chord, okay? And then here is a diameter. So here's what we know. These are congruent and they meet at 90-degree angle. So the chord is here, the diameter is here.
Got it. Perpendicular to the conclusion can be that the chord is bisected.
The diameter's not, it's usually there's more on one side than the other.
Got it. All right, so this is the next one. Chat.
All right, so this is another sort of, you need a formula here. So when you have two chords, I'm going to use A and B to indicate the lengths of those sides, C and D for these other ones. A times B equals C times D. Okay, so the products are the same. So A times B, C times D, those are the same. And go ahead and I guess use that information to substitute the numbers in there for JN and NK and then LN and NM and solve for X. Should be a pretty simple equation. How are you doing on this one?
I got 4 for X.
Okay. So if that's true, and so here's my check. Jn is 3, that's 4, ln is 2, and that's 6. Is 3 times 4 equal to 2 times 6? Yes, it is. So there you go. It does work.
Uh, um, chat.
Find the measure of dB arc dB here. So that's right here. So this is that. So that one I was drawing earlier where I said it was tangent tangent. It actually works if you have a tangent and a secant, or a tangent, or a secant and a secant. There's still a big M and a little m and an X. So in your problem, like I'll use a different color here. This is big M, this is little m,
And then that's
this is
the X up
X.
there. Yeah.
So you're essentially solving this equation. You're solving that X equals big M minus little m divided by 2.
So in
You're
this case,
solving that 5X equals 5X plus 21
yeah,
minus 96
divided by 2.
divided by 2. So go ahead and try solving that. Let me know if you have any questions.
Right.
And
I'm a little bit confused how to handle the 5X because I did 21 minus 96.
I'm sorry, there's 25X there. That's bad. Oops, 25X.
Ah, so
And so
then
so what I would do is multiply both sides by 2 to get 10X equals 25X plus 21 minus 96, and try solving it from there.
then
And you
minus,
can
yeah,
also, yeah, I mean, you can also, I don't want to say this, put, you can also try the answers, but I wouldn't do that. I would just solve
yeah,
it.
so I got 5 equals X or X equals 5.
Well, what does it ask for here? It
The
asks for the
measure
measure of arc B to B, which means you have to put that back in here.
got it,
So
yeah.
once you get the X value, that's one of the common things in geometries. You sometimes have to go back and put back in stuff like that.
146, it looks like to be the last option there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, um,
That in. This one, the next one's kind of like that, but I don't think it includes the tan. Where you have the x equals big M minus little divided by 2, but it's in the chat now. The next
yeah.
question.
So what we've got here is, it's this one we were working on earlier where they're not on the center. So there's, I call it little m and big M, just to kind of be consistent with those letters we've been using. But X is the average. It's little m plus big M divided by 2. So you can think of, and it doesn't matter which one, you can think of that as little m and big M, and that's X. Now, after you find X, I'm sorry, after you solve for X in the equation, not X, X is referring to the angle, you have to put that back in over here.
So
So if it's
it
not,
sort of
if
is, so it's kind of like the previous problem,
kind of, yeah, so it's gonna be 5x plus 10
except
plus
instead of
11x
minus, you're
plus
adding the
2.
two m's.
Exactly. And you got to remember the difference between them.
Got it. See, so- 1 second. Mhm, mhm. Mhm. Okay, I got 236.666, which would be like six times
Well,
9 halves and 3.
that's not good because it can't be that. Let's take a look here. So I would multiply both sides by 2. That's 140.
Yeah, that's what I did first, and I got
And
140 equals 5x plus 10 minus 11x plus 2.
No, you're adding, adding. Yeah, and you even said that. Yeah, you're adding instead of subtracting. In the previous one, so when it's outside the circle, that's when you subtract.
Oh, actually, I wrote it
When
as the
it's
plus, but then when I multiplied it, I changed it to a negative. So,
yeah, sometimes we get biased by all the things we've been doing here. So this is 128 equals 16x, divide by 16, and then
okay,
x equals
8.
I believe. So, but that's not the answer. That's just the
That's
value
what you
of
have to plug
x.
in.
You still put it back in here to find
And
that.
11 times 8 is 88. So 88 plus 2, that's 90.
Yeah.
So 90 degrees. Got it. Yeah, I think that was just that one mistake that kind of flipped it up there. Yeah, I think that was just that second one. After that, you get the 8 for x, which you then plug in and get 90 degrees. That makes sense. I think question for this lesson. The next one. Chat. With questions in the chat.
All right. So again, kind of same situation here, but where you've got something external. But the thing is that there's a new piece of information here. A tangent to a center always meets at a 90-degree angle. And you have two of those here. All right, now they're telling you that BAE is 140 right there. So there's a couple of ways to do this. One is to recognize that this is a quadrilateral. Okay, and to recognize that the four angles in a quadrilateral, the sum of the interior angles,
Is 180?
it's 360. Now, maybe you haven't seen that yet, but I mean, you know that a square has
Of course.
square is 360, a rectangle is 360. Okay, so it's like this: x plus 90 plus 90 plus 140 equals 360. So that's way number one to do this. Okay, here's way number two. It has nothing to do with the 90 degrees. If this in here is 140, it's a central angle, which means that this is also 140. And then the one over here on the other side, it's 360 minus 140, which is 220. Okay, and so x, again, x is going to equal 220 minus 140 divided by 2.
220 140. 40 divided by 2. By 2, that's 40 degrees. Got it. So in this case, x would equal, yeah, they're looking for x there too. So the angle x would equal 140, or actually, the x would equal 40 degrees. 40 degrees. All right. Right here, and this one is inscribed and circumscribed circles.
The new lesson.
Yeah. In the chat. There's the first question of that lesson in the chat now.
Yeah. Right, so this is sort of walkabout problem, or I'm sorry, walk around, not a walkabout. Walkabout is something else. Walk around means you're going around it. What you have to remember is that tangents are always congruent. So these two tangents are congruent. And then if we draw like another set of tangents like that, they're also congruent, but they're not congruent to the previous ones. So why does that, why does that matter? Well, let's find a tangent here. See how BF is 6? That means that BH is also 6. And if CG is 9, that's the next one, then CF is also 9. Okay. Now they're telling you that BA is 17. That's this length here. So the whole length is 17. What must be HA?
Going to 17, then HA is 11.
11. Yes. So that means that the other one is 11, and they're asking for the perimeter of triangle ABC. So it's up to you if you want to redraw it, with the information here. 17, this is 15, and this is 20. Just adding up the side lengths here to get those,
17.
or you just add all the numbers all the way around.
So that'd be 52 is the total perimeter.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're to add 15, 17, 15, and 20, that would be
Yeah.
52. Um, Chat.
All right, quadrilateral CDEF is inscribed in circle A. So here we go. You got to draw a circle. And again, I should probably go grab the shape because that's the better way to do it. So a quadrilateral, we don't know exactly, oops, we don't know exactly what it looks like. So we just sort of draw one in here. We're not, don't perceive that like these are congruent. But we'll label it C, D, E, and F like that. And measure of angle C is 7x plus 11. And measure of angle E is 6x. What is the measure of angle E? Okay. So how do I want to describe this? Let me draw two circles. So if I draw this circle right here, 7x plus 11, okay, doubled. If you double it, that's this outside one. That's the inscribed angle. Do you remember that from earlier in our lesson today?
Yeah.
And then similarly, 6x, if you double it, you get 6x here. Now, why am I doing that? Because if you go all the way around a circle, you get 360 degrees. So 12, so the doubling of each of these, the 2 times 7x plus 11, okay, plus 2 times 6x equal 360. So go ahead and try solving this for me. I'm gonna step away
Okay.
for a minute or two, but I'll be right back. Right, I am back. Let me know if you have any questions as you work through that.
I got x equals 13.
Okay, so we got to be careful here. You know, it's always the question like, is that the answer? So on your SAT, ACT, you get a question like this or something like this. You know, is that the answer? No, because they want angle E. Angle E is 6 times
You have to
13.
you have to multiply by 6.
Yes. It's always good to know where you're going, what you're trying to find here. So
All right, so that's 78 degrees.
you got it. Good.
Um, Here's the next one. Chat.
30 minutes. All right. Point D is in the in-center of triangle BTA. If measure of angle FHG is 61, what is the measure of angle FBG? So FHG, so that's this one right here. That's 61. So again, like you got to like, and I don't know why they don't teach it this way, but you got to like draw it without all the other lines. So this is 61, which means that this is 122 degrees. So that's the F to G. It doesn't have to be a great drawing, just has to be something that's there. And then we want the measure of angle FBG. So if we draw yet another circle, FDG is the central angle, and the central angle is exactly equal to the measure of the arc. Maybe that was not clear. Please let me know.
Yeah, I think I got that.
So, so to summarize, there's two types of angles you need to know. There's the inscribed and the central. The central is the easier one. That's when these are the same. That's the central angle. The inscribed is like that.
Got it. So the
Okay,
inscribed,
is that okay?
all 3 points must touch like the
Yes. Yeah.
and
This
the
one goes through
central
the center.
about the center.
Has to go through
Yeah.
center. And then there's the chord. So there's the chord, which is little m and big M and X. X is equal to little m plus big M divided by 2. I call that the chord. And then the next ones are the ones that are external to the circle here. So I mean, I don't know if you want me to run through all of them, but like there were 3 possibilities. There was tangent, secant. Secant means it cuts through twice. Tangent means it just touches. And then there's tangent, secant. And in all cases, you have this notation here. X equals big M minus little m divided by 2. And that takes care of all the angles. Then you got to go back and know all the side properties, which we've talked about throughout. So the first one was if you have 2 chords, center, perpendicular, you know, those are congruent, these are congruent, you get the 90 degrees. Okay. The next one we talked about was chord, A, B, C, D. A times B equals C times D, like that. There's also, and you'll probably get to it soon, there's tangent, secant. There's tangent, which did cover today. And then there's secant, which is probably coming. And you just have to know all these formulas to be able to do well in this part of the course here.
Got it. So kind of the formulas are key here.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and stop here for today.